Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. We are bringing you guys a breaking news video because last night Luka Doncic got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and it has kind of thrown the sports card market in a frenzy. What I'm going to be doing is going over where I believe that a lot of money will flow into Luka Doncic's market, which cards I believe still have a lot of room to go up, especially leading into the playoffs. You've got a lot of hype. Luka Doncic will be playing his first game for the Lakers likely soon. So there's going to be a lot of hype. There's a lot of opportunities, but also some risks that I'm going to be going over. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. All right, guys, so real quick, I did want to mention we just relaunched our membership program. We've got a lot of new added benefits for members. So for example, for this yearly membership, we're giving you guys one investment card of the week, market updates and trends. We're going to be going over rising and falling cards, along with many other things. We've had a lot of very successful picks in the last couple months. We've had a lot of cards go up by over 50%. So there's just a lot of room for upside in the sports card market. So if you guys would like to join, the link will be down below. We will be accepting new members starting today. So you can go ahead, join in if you would like to become a member of ours and keep up with our membership program and what picks we are buying, what cards we believe are good investments. So pretty much the whole rundown of the market. If you want it from us on a weekly basis, click the link down below. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into the video. So as you guys can see, the Luka Doncic sports card market is just absolutely taken off. If we look, for example, at his Silver Prism in a PSA 10, this card I believe was around a $1,000 card before the trade. And after the trade, we have been seeing some extremely high sales, as high as $1,800 to $1,900. There's been the highest one that it shows publicly on eBay right now is at $1,745. But we saw this card was, had multiple sales under $1,000 very recently. So we've seen a massive spike in his card prices. You've got a whole new market buying in. If you guys are unaware of the LA sports card scene, it is pretty much known as the sports card capital of the world. There's so many, great shops out there. There's so many collectors and investors based in LA. And of course, the Los Angeles Lakers have such a large global audience. So we are seeing an influx of buyers in Luka's market right now. Across the board, his, market has been really taken off. I would say a lot of these common cards of his are probably going to cool down from my experience and what we've seen happen when a lot of other star players get traded. You see a massive spike and then you see a sell-off. However, where I see immense opportunity is with Luka Doncic's cards that have not comped in a while. So cards that haven't comped since he got traded. Because it's hard to put a true value. For example, if we look at his Purple Prism, which is a card that I really like because now it is, pretty much almost a color match with his current team. I think it's going to be a card that a lot of collectors and Lakers investors, and collectors go after just because, purple is a Lakers color. I think there's just a lot of demand right now to find something collectible that's Lakers themed for Luka Doncic. But this is a card that hasn't comped since May of last year. So it's hard to put a direct value on this card. You could say it might be a $75,000 to $8,000 card right now at the bare minimum. But if you're buying it off of last comp, or if you're able to use last comp to negotiate, you can make a lot of money by simply buying these cards off market. So when I say off market, what I mean is Instagram, sports card shows, Facebook groups, different platforms, my slabs, that maybe don't have the same reach as eBay. Because on eBay, there's plenty of buyers who are willing to pay over last comp. At shows, it's going to be harder to find those buyers, right? So if you're able to find a card like this, get it around that $6,000 price range, get a PSA 9 around that $2,500 to $3,000 price range, I think you can have a lot of upside there, especially for, Luka's purple cards, just because I would say, as I said, it's almost becoming a color match. I've seen a lot of collectors go after these cards. So if you're able to find a lot of these cards, even if you're going for an optic, I believe these are, fairly rare. They're pretty short printed. If you can see, there are only 42 PSA 10s. There's only 208 PSA 9s. And this is a card that, has come down a good amount since Luka's injury and since they made the finals last year. This is a good opportunity. I think if you can get a PSA 10 of this for around that last comp, you can potentially, see a solid increase as you see these Lakers collectors and investors and just overall speculators looking into what Luka and LeBron are going to look like. You're going to have just a lot of buyers for a lot of these cards at these price points for, whether it's color match or just short printed Luka cards that you can get based off previous comps, even a comp from 2 weeks ago. If you're able to get a comp, if you're able to get a, I would say one of his more collectible cards for a previous comp price, you're going to do pretty well. And I've seen this happen plenty of times with big trades, with big signings. You kind of see the market go into a frenzy for a little bit, and there's a lot of room for upside, but of course a lot of risk. If you're going after a card that's comping every single day, chances are it's already made a high and it's going to come back down. Like if you're going after a pop 20,000 base prism, you're going to see a lot of people selling whenever the price goes up, and that's going to cause it to kind of be suppressed, because there's going to be a lot of people taking profit. And I think that's what a lot of people have to understand. When you're buying into a player after a lot of hype, there's going to be a lot of people taking profit. So you want to make sure you're not, getting sold on, and, from there, a lot of prices can come back down. So I think overall for Luka's market right now, it's a little bit of a risky time, especially if you're investing in a lot of his cards that have just gone. Like this card right here was a $180 card, $160 card a couple days ago, and it's currently a $300+ card. So I think there's a lot of people that are going to get burned buying into a card after it just doubled. But if you're able to find those cards that haven't comped and get them for around that last comp, before the trade happened, when he was still injured, that is where I see a lot of great upside. Of course, I'm going to speak to a little bit of higher end investors right now. There's going to be a lot of upside in his rare cards. There's the ceiling for his cards being a Laker, I feel like has just rose a lot. So when you're talking about cards right here, if you look at his flawless horizontal true, this card has, pretty much around 10 that have been graded in all time, right? So there's only 10 of them out there. It's one of his more important cards. It's going to be a card a lot of high-end investors are after. And if you're able to get a rare card like this, get your hands on it for these previous comps, you're going to do extremely well, because I'm telling you, the amount of buyers in Luka's market right now, there's not going to be enough high-end inventory to satisfy all of them. And I just think demand is going to be greater than supply in the simplest terms. And I think that's going to cause a lot of his prices to really rise for his flawless, for his national treasures, for his cards that are super sought after but don't pop up. If you look at, for example, his cracked ice, like there's only a handful of these out there, and they don't really hit the market. There are a lot of long-term investors in Luka Doncic's high-end market. So when you have cards like these, super sought after, only 10 in a BGS 9.5, only 5 in a PSA 10, you're going to see these cards really start to jump first, I believe. If you're able to get these around last comp, I think you're going to do really well. At least going into the playoffs, because I think, this craze is going to last some time. I don't know how long it's going to take for the Prism base to correct, the Prism Silver to correct, but I think him being a Laker, bringing that whole new audience, especially being in LA with the sports card scene out there, and with teaming up with LeBron, there's just a lot of, him being the face of the Lakers franchise going forward. I just think there's a ton of upside in his market, but you have to be really careful, because buying in now is definitely a time where you're going to be taking a little bit more risk than if you were buying in a week ago. So you're going to be paying a little stronger for a lot of cards. That's why I really suggest, if you're able to find cards that haven't comped and be able to use those last comps to negotiate, and get yourself a good price in one of his rare cards that's not going to comp for a little bit longer. You're going to do really well. And I definitely, like I said, I like those, purple cards just because he's not going to have many yellow cards besides, of course, like his technical gold prism. A lot of people will consider, like a gold prism for a Lakers player is going to do better. But I'd say his purple prisms, his purple optics, those type of cards, I could see a little bit more upside there just because you kind of have that color match. I really like his purple prism out of 75. I know I went over it a little bit earlier, but this is a card that I think, given its rarity and the amount of Lakers investors and collectors out there, and the speculation, I think it's going to be a card that could bounce back. This card was a $25,000 card at one point. And it's come all the way down, around 80%. So you're going to see some upside there. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like. And once again, we launched our membership programs. We relaunched them with some new added benefits. And, we've been killing it. A lot of our members have been doing really well in the market. There's so many opportunities in football, basketball, baseball. A lot of cards going up. And we've been able to catch a lot of the uptrends for these players. Such as Jaden Daniels. Amen Thompson was the guy who was on our list. We've just been able to kind of keep up with the market and allow our members to see some great upsides. So the link will be down below if you would like to join in and become a member. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.